All right, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at Astro AWANI. You're with me, Syed Fardino Omar, and it gives me super duper great pleasure, honor, excitement, all the above, to be your host this afternoon because we are indeed at the grand finals of the UMW Green Ranger Search. I know each and every single one of you must be super excited. You're anxious. You're wondering, did my video make it? Was my idea deemed good enough? And I'm sure your friends and family who are joining here today is also thinking the same thing. Is my pal, is my brother, is my sister, are they going to be one of the finalists? We have reached out to a good number of semi-finalists. So if you're tuning in right now, you are one of our semi-finalists, but we are now going to whittle down from the many, many, many that we have received to just 9 semi-finalists. We have not informed you if your submission has already made it into the semi-finals. So what's going to happen is we will be playing the semi-finalist videos in a second, and then from the 9 we will whittle it down to the top 3, and the top 3 are all going to be getting prizes. So it's going to be a really fun, it's going to be really interactive, and I'm sure you're super excited to share your passion for the preservation of the environment, which is exactly what we're trying to do here. Okay, this is why Astro AWANI and UMW have come together to look for the UMW Green Ranger through the Green Ranger Search, because it's high time that people like you who are tuning in, who have submitted your ideas, to really take charge and help to shape the future that you want for yourselves, for your future generation. And how do we do that? By starting to introduce, starting to apply and impose better practices, green practices in the community that you live in. It doesn't matter if you're representing your school, it doesn't matter if you're representing your family, your taman, your workplace, or even just yourself to begin with. It's super important to get this down right from the very beginning. Okay, so if I just want to remind you a little bit about the brief that we actually put out. Astro AWANI, in collaboration with UMW, is on the hunt for the next leader from within the community to carry the mantle of the Green Ranger. How will they inspire the youth of tomorrow to see value in planting trees for the many positive effects it will have on the environment? How can this individual use their influence to signal to the community to get on ground and start cultivating the earth with a variety of plants, such as mangrove trees, which has been proven by research to be the unsung heroes of our ecosystem? So whilst we are going to be talking about, during the webinar later, talking about mangrove trees, because God, guys, mangrove trees are the superheroes, the superstars of creating a better future for the environment. But having said that, we're not expecting you to go ahead and plant those mangrove trees in full force. We want you to go out there and have a plan with whatever trees, with however you feel is the best and most suited way for you to start greenifying your earth. So that's the clarion call, that's the agenda, and that is exactly what we hope to be doing today. So what is going to happen later on is that out of the 9 semi-finalists that will be presented to you later, you, the members of the audience, will have a role to play in deciding which of the 9 becomes top 3. Okay, and how is that going to happen? It's very simple. We have broken down the list of 9 semi-finalists into random blocks of 3, and we have taken the 3 videos, put them together, and we will be playing those videos to you shortly, very, very shortly, in just a second. Okay, so we will be playing the videos in batches of 3, and at the end of the 3rd video, I will then invite you to cast your vote for the best or your favorite video amongst the 3 that you have just watched, using the poll tool that we will have in the comment section of the Facebook Live. Okay, so you choose which of the 3 videos you have just watched is your favorite. Now, at the end of the session, after watching 3 blocks of 3 videos each, we will arrive at the top 3, which is the first favorite video that you selected for, the second favorite video in the second batch, and the third favorite video in the third batch. So those 3 will be the top 3. Now, if you want to know that whether you've made it from the 9 to the 3, you will have to wait until the end of the session, because in between we will have a short talk session about the importance of mangrove trees and how it can play a role in greenifying our future. And we've got prizes up for grabs. The top 3 prizes are, if I can just invite my colleague Linda to go ahead and flash that up there. We've got fantastic prizes to be shared with you. The first prize is a 2,000 ringgit cash prize. The second prize is 1,500 ringgit. And the third prize is 1,000 ringgit. So if you don't have your friends and family in here in this webinar right now is the time for you to get them to come on board, because when they vote, and if your video comes up tops, you will be one of the 3 finalists and therefore eligible for these top 3 prizes over here. So it's going to be as simple as that. All right, now, I think we're just about ready to go ahead, and my colleague has just passed me an iPad with the Facebook Live in front of me. So if you want to communicate with me, I can read your comments on the Facebook Live session over here. So go ahead and drop me a line on Facebook Live. That would be really, really amazing. Facebook Live in front of me. So if you want to communicate with me, I can. My apologies. Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and communicate, I can read your messages over here. Teach Liu, hi Teach. 9 out of how many? 9 out of many that was sent in. But yes, so 9 are the ones that has been selected to go to the semifinals. Zamani, hello Zamani. So yeah, go ahead and drop me a line here, and I can read your messages. And please do stay till the end so that you can show your support for your fellow colleagues, for your family and friends that have submitted their ideas over here. Okay. Now, without further ado, I don't want to take up much of your time. I'm sure you guys are super excited to see which of the 9 videos have been selected to enter the finals. We will begin with the very first block of 3 videos over here. So pay close attention to what is being presented to you. You want to look for the next leader from within the community who can make a difference, who can influence you to do better for the environment. So the first of the 3 videos will be played right now, and get ready to vote right after that. So Linda, over to you. Let's have the first 3 videos.
Hai, saya Nurasha Syamsuddin. Saya merupakan seorang petani tradisional di zaman moden. Saya ada kebun yang dinamakan sebagai kebun urai organik, iaitu satu kebun yang mengamalkan konsep budaya perma yang mana dekat sini semuanya aman dan mampan. Di kebun urai, semua pokok ditanam secara 100% organik menggunakan baju organik seperti tinja haiwan, kompos sisa buangan rumah dan kebun serta kawalan biologi serangga perosak yang dibuat menggunakan bacuhan bahan dapur. Budaya perma lebih dari organik semata. Banyak kos yang boleh dijimatkan bila kita hargai sisa. Proses penukaran sisa kepada baja dinamakan sebagai kompos. Antaranya vermicompost, iaitu proses kompos yang menggunakan cacing, kompos air yang menggunakan sisa protein seperti perut ikan, ayam dan kulit udang kepada larutan enzim, kompos peraman kulit bawang, kompos lava lalat askar hitam, kompos longgokan sisa kebun untuk penghasilan tanah kompos berkualiti dan juga kompos sisa makanan yang ditanam secara terus ke dalam tanah. Asalkan hujungnya tidak sama rupa, bau dan warna dari asal, ianya sudah dikira sebagai kompos yang sangat bagus untuk pokok dan persekitaran. Bukan sahaja cacing dan lava lalat askar cekap mengkomposkan sisa, mereka juga merupakan makanan berprotein tinggi untuk ternakan, terutamanya ayam kampung. Baja yang terhasil dari kompos pula dicampurkan pada tanah, air siraman dan ditaburkan pada kaki pokok secara berperingkat supaya tumbesaran pokok sekata, bebas penyakit dan mengeluarkan hasil yang cemerlang. Paling penting sekali, mesra terhadap manusia, haiwan serta seluruh ekosistem. Dari benih jadi pokok, dari pokok jadi makanan, dari makanan jadi sisa, dari sisa jadi baja dan dipulangkan semula ke pokok. Satu kitaran yang memerlukan kos yang sangat sedikit, ditambah pula bila menggunakan alatan menanam dari bahan terpakai. Banyak perkongsian tentang budaya perma dikongsi di Instagram Nurasha Syamsuddin yang mana boleh dicontohi dan dipelajari secara percuma. Kebun urai organik juga menyediakan alatan pertanian di Shopee untuk mereka yang berkeinginan untuk bercucuk tanam secara organik. Inisiatif sebegini bertujuan supaya ramai dapat menjalani kehidupan yang lebih baik, sihat, jimat dan sudah tentunya selamat untuk seisi keluarga.
Hello everyone, I'm Liu. Thank you for watching my video. Have you ever wondered how much water from the air can be collected through the AC drain pipe? I've guided my Year 7 science class students to build an aqueduct of roughly 100 feet last year. We have been getting roughly 500 ml of water in every 2 minutes. Yes, indeed, a lot. This is promising for any company that has a lot of AC running during the days for at least 5 hours a day. What do I propose this year will be to direct those AC from first floor as well to the current existing aqueduct and assemble a ramp pump to actually deliver those water to the second floor. Well, those water collected can be used to water the plant, or perhaps I can have air purifying plant placed around the stairs, as well as for flushing the toilet if you have excess water. Well, imagine this idea, it's being adapted to all companies or any schools around Malaysia with AC, then we actually manage to save a lot of water. I hope you like my idea. Thank you for your support. Bye bye.
What if I told you if this pencil can be transformed into a tree? Isn't it amazing? Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Roshahidah Muhammad Nazir and I am a geology lecturer from University of Bangsaan, Malaysia. So plantable pencil is the concept that I'm going to use to motivate my students to come along and plant more trees. So this is how we do it. First, we will provide the plantable pencil to every student at the beginning of the semester, and student will be asked to use the pencil in any class activities, and this includes taking notes, sketching, or even handwriting assignment. So by the end of the semester, the pencil will surely get shorter, and the shorter pencil that can no longer be sharpened will be put into soil and planted into a tree. So if students able to get it sprouted, bonus mark will be given to them. So let's do the math. If one semester I have roughly 70 students under my program, and then 70 trees can be planted from them, and 1 year we can produce roughly around 140 trees. But this is only from my program. I think this is a very nice initiative in a way that students will be very participative and wanted to produce their own tree, and it's like a reincarnation of a pencil into a new life that is a tree. Isn't that amazing?
Hello again, I'm back. I have to be completely honest, I'm taken aback by the quality of the suggestions that has been shared by Noraisha, by Teacher Liu, and also by Dr. Nishaida. That was really, really good. That is the kind of quality that we're looking for. So you get the idea, yeah, the kind of leaders that we want to be shaping the future. So now the onus is on you, members of the audience, to choose which of those three is your favorite video. On the Facebook Live chat box area, there will be a poll that will be made live any second now. And what you need to do is you need to go ahead and choose which of those three videos is your favorite. Is it Noraisha's video about the farm? Is it Teacher Liu's video about the water that you can save from air conditioning units or AC units? Or is it Dr. Shaida's video about the potential in a pencil? Well, this is a pen, but in a pencil. So you go ahead and choose which is your favorite. There will be a poll in the Facebook chat section over here. Let me just double check. Yeah, it is activated already. I can see that my colleague has already sent me a screen grab. So go ahead and choose which is your favorite. Is it Noraisha? Is it Liu? Or is it Dr. Nur Shahida? I'll give you about 20 seconds to go ahead and put your votes down. And we will then take a look at the second batch of finalists. So congratulations to the first three. You are the first of the 9 that has made it thus far. So it's great to see you here. Really, really good suggestions. Fantastic suggestion. Very convincing storytelling methods. And yeah, so that's what we want to look for. We want you to not only have fantastic ideas, but also to be able to articulate them well, and for you to try to be as convincing as possible when talking to people. So that's why we're looking for the UMW Green Ranger. Your job is to be the Green Ranger. All right, okay. I can see some comments over here. Video satu is my favorite from Daniel. Go Susan Go. Dr. Shahida is the best. Okay, good. Guys, again, if you have any comments, go ahead and leave your comments on the Facebook chat session or section. I can read your comments there. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what inspired you. Please go ahead and put your comments down there. Okay, so I think we're just about ready to go for the second batch of finalists.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Dr. Firdaus binti Muhammad Yusof from Department of Environment, Faculty of Forestry and Environment, University Putra, Malaysia. I would like to share some details about our program designed with the Orang Asli at Ulu Cempuru. The program title is Capacity Building Program of Indigenous Community at Janda Baik Pahang on Flood Disaster. The program basically a knowledge transfer activities with the aim to empower the community with early prevention knowledge on flood events to avoid similar incident from happening and to reduce the socio-economic impact if the same disaster is repeated. Two objectives set for this program. Our first objective is empowering the indigenous community through the process of knowledge transfer related to disaster risk analysis to the environment and socio-economic of the indigenous community, and second is to assist in preparing the indigenous community to face the risk of disaster through volunteer activities. Knowledge transfer program covering a series of activities involving understanding the real scenario by conducting site visits at flood-affected areas in Kampung Janda Baik and at the Kampung Orang Asli Ulu Cempuru. Then second, environmental and socio-economic data collection with UPM students and the indigenous community, volunteering activities for waste management and flood mitigation plans, and last activity is a sharing session of research finding and knowledge transfer to the indigenous community through environmental education and research exhibitions. Indigenous community need to be empowered with knowledge to prevent new flood risk, reduce existing flood risk, and manage residual risk to strengthen resilience and reduction of flood disaster losses. We need more fund to support this program and meet the objective. With the recognition and fund under UMW Green Ranger, which is funded by Astro, AWANI and UMW, it will highlight contribution of both organizations in sustaining good environment to prevent natural disaster.
Hello, my name is Susan. As the UMW Green Rangers, I have a lot of things in my mind that I want to share to help to build a Go Green campus in this TAR UMT, where we can have a lot of projects, plans. Firstly, to have this awareness campaign where we can have it online or either offline. Well, if it's online, we can actually share a lot of posters, informations through our social medias to give some awareness to our community about what this green campus is. And for on ground, we can actually invite some environmentalists or upcycling artists to share their thoughts, experience, and also some hands-on workshop to teach our community to make more sustainable and environmental friendly environment. Here's my second project where we will use this eco brick, where this is the empty bottle with this wasted plastic, both plastic. So we cut this into small pieces and stuck it into this plastic bottle to make this eco brick. And we use this eco brick to build tables and chairs to beautify our gardens, fruit trees, vegetables or flowers to fill up the whole campus. And this is to help to ensure the sustainability of in terms of physical and mental health of all community involved in this project. So in conclusion, I understand my role as the UMW Green Rangers is to promote the environmental sustainability to my community. Thank you, everybody.
Solar lighting for public recreation park.
1. To replace current lamp that directly receive electricity from a conventional source of electricity. Problem 2. To promote the SDG 11, Sustainable Development, and SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, towards society and communities.
Step 1. To get permission from Kuantan City Council, Majlis Bandaraya Kuantan, to install the solar lamp within the recreational park. Step 2. Pre-implementation phase, marking suitable areas to install solar lights with volunteers involved. Step 3. Install solar lights in groups and on the same day, since solar light installation is simple and do-it-yourself, DIY.
Well, okay, there you have it. Those are the next finalists that you can see on stage. We had Dr. Firdaus with her flood mitigation plan involving the indigenous communities around Malaysia, but then the example that was given in Janda Baik, I think that was a really, really good plan. You can see the effort in trying to figure out what needs to be done. The second is the awareness campaign by Susan Goh. Susan is talking about multiple things that can be done within her community. This is exactly what I mean by it doesn't matter what community you're representing, your school or your taman or whatever, as long as you have a plan for the community. And the third one is a plan by Akram Shami. It's unfortunate that we don't actually get to see Akram, because when we're looking for the Green Ranger, we need to see who we are trying to vote for here, because at the end of the day, it is the audience vote that matters. So my colleagues, if you please go ahead and start putting the voting panel on the Facebook Live already, we can go ahead and make our vote for our favorite out of the batch. Number 2 here, which is Dr. Firdaus and Susan Goh and also Akram Shami. And please select which do you think best represents your interest as the UMW Green Ranger. They all have really, really solid ideas. They all have plans that can be very easily made tangible. Plans that are not just in kayangan, if I can call it that. Plans that are logical, and you know that this is something that can be done and is executionable in a very, very short period of time. So what you need to now do is to go ahead and choose which of the 3 is your favorite in order for us to choose and arrive at the second finalist in our Green Ranger search. So one of these 3 people, which is Dr. Firdaus or Susan Goh or Akram Shami, is going to be one of the top 3 in our UMW Green Ranger search. So as I mentioned just now, the videos are lumped together in random. So it's not like we chose specific videos to be next to each other. No, it's actually at random. So tengok nasib lah in which pile you end up in. Okay, so let's give it another 15 seconds before we deactivate the poll and go ahead and check out the third batch. We've seen 6 of the 9 finalists, so congratulations to the 6 of you. We've only got 1 batch left.
My name
Linda?
is Muhammad Zainuddin. As a UMW Green Ranger, I want to get more involved with the promotion and motivating others to adopt environmental friendly lifestyle. I will conduct training and sharing session to school, university and industry player on importance of our role to ensure our environment in good condition. Together with Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM Student Chapter, I will organize campaigns such as No Single-Use Plastic, 3R on Wheels, e-waste disposal program, upcycling cloth program, waste cooking oil collection, waste to art, planting trees, planting mangrove trees, and knowledge transfer program to community on environmental awareness. Besides that, I will also approach Kelab Alam Sekitar in school and will arrange knowledge transfer program between university students and school students, such as sharing session on source of the carbon footprint and what is our responsible to reduce it. I will conduct training on wastewater treatment with university and industries to ensure the discharge wastewater comply with Environmental Quality Industrial Effluent Regulation 2009. Other than that, I will also conduct training on how to implement circular economy and reuse of scheduled waste with university and industries to ensure the disposal of scheduled waste to the landfill can be reduced. That's all from me. Together, we preserve our nature for our future generation. Thank you.
Hi, do you like rewards? Like a good employee getting a big bonus? Or a good student getting a good CGPA? The fact is, everyone loves reward, especially when they did a good thing. The let it be habit towards trash is too common in Malaysia. So why not give people a little encouragement to dispose any trash they see? Well, other than getting a cleaner environment, people will realize that a little act can change a lot of things, such as attitudes and responsibilities. Siapa paling banyak can encourage people to take care of their surroundings by adopting the reward system. With this solution, there will be less trash, less pollution, and better environment.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day. I'm Amalia Joha Muhammad Noor, lecturer in University of Malaysia Kelantan, would like to be one of the UMW Green Ranger that represent our community of Faculty of Earth Science in going to present our initiative that work together for a wonderful garden in our campus. Thank you very much, Astro AWANI, in collaboration with UMW for this great initiative to inspire the youth to see the building planet-friendly habits to ensure the sustainability of our environment. The Faculty of Earth Science, University of Malaysia Kelantan has planned tree planting, have initiated landscape tree planting program on 2019 with the theme of My Tree for My FSP. This program is based on the concept of our own tree care until maturity, where each FSP staff and student will be responsible for at least 2 trees selected and planted by them until maturity. 67 of the trees has been planted around the faculty building. The selection of the trees is based on the species of the forest trees and fruit trees that are increasingly unknown to the community by today. Therefore, in addition to beautifying the environment, this program is also carried out for one of the preservation efforts of species and biodiversity around faculty. In addition to fostering friendly relation between FSP staff and students in making this program a success, this planting is also one of the long-term plans to maintain the level of greenery and the quality of the landscape around faculty, indirectly raising awareness about the importance of the trees and preserving the environment so that it is always healthy, safe, beautiful, and conducive at faculty. In fact, giving responsibility to each of the staff and students will foster a spirit of love around our place and appreciate the surrounding environment. Future planning for the first program to ensure that tree care is monitored and continued. In fact, various programs can be organized that have an impact on the faculty and community in the future if careful care is taken.
There you have it, and that's the final batch. Congratulations to all 9 semi-finalists. So thank you very much for your video, Nur Ain, who has a multifaceted plan. Her plan tries to do as many things as possible, trying to involve as many layers of society as possible. So that's congratulations to you, Nur Ain. You've got Yasmin and her reward system, very, very innovative. Never really thought of that, but it could work. It could work, provided that you've got the right kind of infrastructure, provided you've got the right kind of funding systems feeding into your reward system. I think that could quite possibly work, because just exactly like the opening question that you asked is now, who doesn't like to earn a reward, right? So perhaps that is the secret in getting as many people involved as possible. And last but not least, Amal Najia, with the Garden in Campus initiative in University of Malaysia Kelantan. great that you're getting everybody on campus involved. That is really, really good. Very penuh dengan nilai murni, if I can call it that, because you're trying to get not only the students to actually play a role, but also the staff, because we sometimes forget that this is something that is that needs to be done. You can see on screen right now, Vignesh has already turned on his camera. Vignesh is one of the jury that will be playing a very important role in trying to select the winner. Vignesh, I will be inviting you on a bit later, Vignesh. So please, you can go ahead and turn off your camera and your audio. Thank you. I see even the jury is so eager to actually go.
Yeah.
Even the jury is eager. Okay, Vignesh, I can still hear you. Yeah, so please make sure that your camera is off and your audio is mute. Now they know who you are when you live, Vignesh. So if you got to choose very, very carefully, because otherwise, if you make the wrong choice, it's going to be not a very pretty sight. But for now, we want to see who you are choosing to be the finalists from the 3 that we have just presented to you, which is Nur Ain and Yasmin and Amal Najia. So go ahead and cast your vote. It's super important for you to choose the best candidate in order for them to be in the running to be the UMW Green Ranger. I can see that a lot of people, there are more people here for Dr. Fer, Nur Ain Zainuddin, yeah, Dr. Amal the best, Susan Go, let's go Ain. Presentation by Nuraisha Shamsuddin is the best. Okay, we can see that a lot of people actually have their own individual favorites. So it's good that you have a favorite. It's important for you to vote for your favorite. Okay. Fairuz, we're just waiting for you to go ahead and activate the voting so that people can cast the votes right now. I know everybody is like super anxious to see out of the 9 that we have selected, how many, or rather which of the 9 are going to be the 3 that makes up positions 1, 2, and 3 in the UMW Green Ranger search. Don't forget, every single one of the top 3 positions stands to win a prize. So if you've got the 3rd place, it's 1,000 ringgit. 2nd place is 1,005. And 3rd place is 1,000. 2nd place is 1,005. And 1st place, you will be bagging 2,000 ringgit for you to spend. So that's really, really good. Okay. Can we get an update on the votes? It's already up and running right now, right? Because I can't see it on my screen right over here. But if it is, then that's fine. We're just waiting for the votes to come in. Thank you so much for your interaction. People on the Facebook live chat, nak simak itu boleh je. The Facebook chat is open. If you want to know more, you can put your question there. We will get the finalists to answer it later on. So, okay, let's give it another 15 seconds before we close the voting. What's going to happen after this is, right after this, I will be inviting our guest speakers to come on board and share the session with me, where we will be talking about why, or rather the secret of why mangrove forests can save our ecosystem. We've got a fantastic panel of speakers who is going to be sharing with you their expertise. And then right after that, once we're done with the webinar, we will come back to the UMW Green Ranger Search finals, where we would have already identified the top 3. They would be given a 1-minute slot to pitch on camera why they should be the winner of the UMW Green Ranger Search before the members of the jury. Ada 3 members of jury, Cik Badrul and Vignesh from UMW and Cik Zaiful Arifin from Astro AWANI. They will be asking questions to the 3 finalists before they go ahead and decide. I've got the scorecard with me. This is the scorecard. This is what it looks like. They are going to be scoring you based on 5 different criteria, which is clarity of plan, delivery and articulation, the applicability or the logic behind the plan, leadership qualities, and also your own passion and desire, how much you want to win. That's what the jury is going to be looking out for. Okay, so I think are we done with the voting? Do we already have a winner, clear winner that is selected before I move on to the webinar itself? I believe my colleagues are working very hard to ensure that the votes are done as perfectly as possible. Okay, votes are done. I'm sure you guys are super excited to see who the top 3 are. So if you want to know, you're going to have to come back later. But for now, we are going to go ahead into the meat of our webinar today, which is talking about the secret of why mangrove forests can save our ecosystem. So without further ado, I present to you, here are your speakers. Linda, over to you. Let's play the speaker video. Okay. I think there might be a little bit of a communication breakdown there. Linda, whenever you're ready, we are going to go ahead with the webinar. So go ahead and play the speaker video before I call out our speakers for today. They're already on standby. I can see the scores. The last batch, the score is, it's a tight race, guys. It's a tight race. So that's really, really good. So there you have it. That is our topic for today, which is the secret of why mangrove forests can save our ecosystem. So without further ado, I'd like to invite our 2 speakers to go ahead and turn on their cameras and turn on their microphones so that they can join me. As mentioned in the video, the introduction video that you just saw earlier, our first speaker is Dr. A. Aldri Amir. He is the Senior Lecturer and Research Fellow at Institute for Environment and Development, or Lestari, at UKM. Dr. Aldri, hi, are you there with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you very much.
Hi, Dr. Aldri. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, let me just read a quick write-up of what Dr. Aldri does. Dr. Aldri, a mangrove ecologist by training, is a senior lecturer and research fellow at the Institute for Environment and Development Lestari of UKM. He is a commission member of the IUC and SSC Mangrove Specialist Group and the coordinator of the Malaysian Mangrove Research Alliance and Network, or My Mangrove. Dr. Aldri, it's great to have you. We spoke before this. I know you're super passionate about mangroves, so I can't wait to get into this conversation very, very shortly. And of course, Saudara Amlir Ayat is also here. Hi, Amlir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay. So Amlir is with a very well-known organization in Malaysia. It's called Eco-Knights. And they do exactly that. They are the vanguards, the knights for everything that is eco-related in Malaysia. Astro AWANI has been working with Eco-Knights, so have been featuring Eco-Knights since God knows how long. We love the work that they do. They are very, very passionate in ensuring that everybody plays a role within the community to have a better future for all of us. Let me just read a little bit about what Amir does. He is currently a director of an environmental and town planning consultancy. His work focuses on education and sustainability, biodiversity, and water management. He initiated Malaysia's first urban community river management project, or Project Penchala, under the Love Our River program. Other projects include corporate capacity building and the integration of sustainability into the formal curriculum. And he's worked in an engineering consultancy with the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP. Wow, everybody very lofty credentials. I feel that I'm dwarfed at the accomplishments that you two bring to the table over here. So I guess it's very pertinent for me then to ask a question that I feel represents what the general public might be thinking about at the back of their minds. I'll probably start with Dr. Aldri. I mean, mangrove forests, we know what mangrove forests are. In Malaysia, we technically don't have a shortage of it, because every single corner of the country, you'll be able to find a mangrove forest of sorts. Having said that, I know that, through my research, that the amount, or the land area that is dedicated to mangrove forests is depleting very, very rapidly all over the world. Maybe not so much in Asia, because we've got abundance of it, but then in places like in the US, it is being cleared out. And yet, here you are, 2 gentlemen standing in front of me, talking about how mangrove forests play a super important role. My first question is very simple. Why is that? Why is mangrove forest important? Maybe Dr. Aldri can start painting a picture for us first.
Sure. Thank you very much, Dino and the team at Astro AWANI for having both of us here today. Your question is very valid. We have in Malaysia alone, we have about 620,000 hectares of mangrove. And imagine in the 80s, there were reports saying we lost about 50% of the mangrove throughout the world then. So meaning to say, we could actually have about 1.2 million hectares prior to maybe the last 2 centuries ago. Yeah, so there you go. But then the trouble is, yes, I mean, we lost a huge amount of mangroves in the mid of last century, beginning then since the independence of the country, and then towards the end of the century, and the rate was about 1 to 3% a year. But then at the turn of the century, particularly after the tsunami, the rate has gone down, but still we are losing. And you correctly pointed out that in the US, actually in Hawaii, for example, mangrove is treated as invasive species. Imagine that, because maybe they were introduced at one point long time ago, and they dominated the whole Hawaiian coast, for example. But then they're not happy with the situation, so yeah, they're cutting. But then here in Asia, where we can find the highest, I mean, the largest abundance of mangroves, area-wise, species-wise as well. Yeah, but then we lost a lot of mangroves due to economic demands. Yeah? For example, like all around Southeast Asia, they turn it into aquaculture ponds. Yeah? And then long time ago also, demand for other agricultural purposes, like oil palm plantations. Yeah? And then of late, I mean, like at the end of the century, more heavier physical developments like townships, ports, yeah, housing development, yeah, so taking place in mangrove area. But then now, at least 11 years ago, when the whole world realized that mangrove is the superpower, it has perhaps supernatural ability to absorb the carbon, and not just carbon, the greenhouse gases in general, then the whole world is starting to trying to protect whatever we have left at the moment. So we are here right in the center of Indo-West Pacific, in the tropics. We are hosting, we hold high amount of huge area of mangrove forest. So we have to do whatever the world is expecting from us, and we have to do it right. Yeah. So first of all, protect what we have left. Secondly, let's find some restorable area that we can restore or rehabilitate, to mitigate the impacts of climate change, and perhaps as preparation for the country, for the world, especially for coastal communities, to prepare and adapt for future impacts and future changes. I leave it to with that. I leave it to you now. Thank you.
Amle, I'll come back to you in a second, but then I ada soalan susulan for Dr. Audrey. We're talking about the role that it plays and all that, but then the simple truth is, a lot of people probably do not understand how it's good for the environment. Why? What is the difference between mangrove forest and any forest, or a forest reserve, or any plant for that matter? Why mangrove in particular?
Very good question. Thank you, Dino. Yeah, I miss that one. So, as we all know, carbon dioxide being released since the Industrial Revolution 1700 in the 1700s contribute to the increase of carbon in the atmosphere, and that contributes to the increase of temperature in the atmosphere, and subsequently increase in temperature of ocean. And all of these cause multiple impact on the environment, such as now we are seeing rising sea levels, rising sea levels, and then we are also facing a lot of other impacts. Okay, so now carbon. Who uses carbon? Who consumes carbon? Only green plants do that. All throughout the world, all types of green plants absorb carbon dioxide for their food, for the photosynthesis, to build up, to make food for themselves. So now, among all of green plants, mangroves do that better. Why? Because every day they work harder than the other plants. Why? Because they live in a very extreme condition. Yeah, they live in between land and sea. This is the zone or area, we call it intertidal zone, meaning they receive in some areas semi-diurnal zone like our country, we receive tides twice a day. So during this time, this window period, they have to absorb as much a nutrient, oxygen from the air, and then getting nutrients from the water, and at the same time they have to filter salt from coming into their bodies, and then they have to do respiration like other plants as well. So by working hard, they become very productive themselves. So this is how that contributes to them absorbing carbon dioxide at a faster rate. And then there you go. So not just plants. This is the thing about mangrove. Mangrove is not a normal forest, if you like. It's not. It is a tropical forest, but it is also a forested wetlands. So you have to combine tropical forest and forested wetland to the equation now. All right. So behind me is a section of Matang mangrove in Taiping. About 40,000 hectares of mangrove, intact mangrove in Peninsular Malaysia, the largest in Peninsular Malaysia. So here, the trees, I'm sorry, it's not just about the plants. This is when we talk about mangroves or other forests for that matter. What makes the forest functional is the collaboration in between plants and all other aspects of the ecosystem. When we speak ecosystem, we have to combine the biotic component as well as the abiotic component. So biotic, there are plants, there are animals, there are microorganisms, bacteria, all working together to contribute to the functioning of the whole ecosystem. So now, the carbon, right? The carbon that is being that completes the whole biomass of plants, for example. So we know trees, leaves, they die, so they turn yellow and they turn brown. So before they die, they will feed back all the nutrients back to the trees, but then leaving solid carbon in the leaves. So this leaf will fall, drop to the floor, and then the first creature and plus other herbivores, crabs and other herbivores will feed on this on this leaf, and they will also grab this leaf into their burrows, into their holes. So total carbon is being kept straight into the sediment. So they are not just so this is how mangrove is very efficient, very effective, because on land, trees, they will decay, and other biomass of the trees, they will decay and will take long time because they have to wait for microorganisms, bacteria, and to turn all of this biomass into organic material. So that's why you get fertile soil on land, but zero oxygen soil in mangrove forest. But then within this waterlogged ecosystem, it's a wetland, waterlogged ecosystem. Imagine the power of water. It pushes the sediment, leaving no oxygen in the soil. So they have to think better. So now that is another adaptation that mangroves are doing, and that's why you get to see mangroves behaving not like normal trees. They have stilt roots, prop roots, for rhizophora. They have pencil roots, like that looks like snorkel for Avicennia and Soneraceae, and you have knee roots. So just going into one patch of a mangrove forest, you can see all of these varieties already. So
if Dr. Audrey was a salesman for mangrove trees, I would be buying the Ferrari of mangrove trees already, because the way he's describing the plant, it's superpowers, it's got multiple, it's like when he's talking about the roots, it's almost like he's talking about the rims of a car, man. Wow, he's so passionate about it. So thank you for that, Dr. Audrey. Paints a very clear picture for us. Now, Amle, we've already had it. We already know the role that mangrove forests can play. And clearly it is important, and clearly it can only do good rather than harm for the environment. Not only for people to actually, play a role in preserving or, enlarging the mangrove forest, but also at a very basic level to have an understanding of what it does. But now, from EcoNight's perspective, I want to understand through the years that you have operated, where does plants sit on the horizon for communities here, apart from just being decorative elements or there to improve the aesthetics of the place, right? Are Malaysians and communities in Malaysia aware of the very specific roles that plants play in ensuring that the air that we breathe is cleaner and stuff like that?
Thank you, Dino, and thank you, Dr. Alri, also for the very good elaboration. I feel like I just want to listen to you instead of attending this webinar as a panelist. So anyway, I think the awareness amongst the Malaysian public compared to other ecosystems, I think the awareness on mangrove is slightly lower. A lot of people look at mangrove forests as, sometimes people call it as wastelands. That's where they see the mangrove forest as something which is where they throw rubbish. In fact, if you go to a lot of mangrove forests, you can see a lot of rubbish and waste being sent there, because they believe that this area has no function or no important function whatsoever to the socio-economy of the people. And I'm glad that Dr. Alri had mentioned about the importance of the mangrove and the ecosystem, the total ecosystem. I believe that there is a very strong emphasis on other ecosystems, for example, tropical rainforest, and more specifically the lowland rainforest, lowland tropical rainforest. So there is a need for us to actually give more emphasis to the protection or the conservation of mangrove forests. But most importantly, the people need to know why mangrove forests are very important. There is, when the tsunami hit Malaysia many years ago, people start to understand, to be more aware about the importance of mangrove, because as we all know, mangrove, like Dr. Alri said, is a very natural protection from not only tsunamis, but also other weather, like the waves and storms, and thus it helps to protect the people living on the beaches. And this is, as we can see, wherever you see a lot of mangrove forests being destroyed, you see a lot of soil erosion. The stability of the soil had decreased very, very significantly. So it's very important for us to understand this right from the youth. The youth generation of our people of Malaysia need to know the importance of mangrove forests, so that when they become adults, become leaders, become active part of the society, they will help to protect the mangrove forest. So there are a lot of other things which need to be known by the public. And I think this forum is one example where people can actually appreciate the existence and the roles being played by the mangrove forest. I met Dr. Aldri, and before, I think, I'm not sure whether he remembers me or not, during the climate change discussion at Parliament, organized by the then opposition leader, Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim. So he was very active in promoting mangrove sustainable mangrove management. And one of the things that he gave to me was a pamphlet on mangrove. This is something which is very, very important, and very it shows how committed Dr. Alri is in protecting the mangrove forest. And I believe that the same effort needs to be done amongst the public and at the schools. So when you ask me about the awareness of the public in Malaysia about the importance of mangrove ecosystems or mangrove forests, I believe we still have a lot to do. And I hope that the schools where you have a lot of younger generation studying, the teachers will take the efforts not only to increase the awareness of the students, but also to bring the students to some of the most important mangrove areas in Malaysia. For example, in Selangor, you have the Kuala Selangor Nature Park. In Perak, you have the Matang Forest Reserve, which have been mentioned by Dr. Aldri, and which is one of the most sustainably managed mangrove forests in the country.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but awareness is one thing, gents. Awareness is one thing, but playing a role, actively participating is another thing. I'm not saying that we should all literally go and pick up our pachukang boots and start going into the mangrove forest and start cucuk the plants into the ground. But what's the next best thing that can be done? Because we know that mangrove forest is a superstar, right? So mangrove trees is what we want to propagate over here. So what can be done from a very fiscal level? I think Dr. Aldri is trying to get something sorted out right now. So maybe Amle, if you want to take this one first.
Yeah, I think first of all, I think people have one of the most important thing in whenever anybody asks me about what is the best thing that a person can do in order to protect or conserve the environment is to throw their waste properly into the rubbish bins. If you go to some of the mangrove forests in Malaysia, you see a lot of rubbish there. And this rubbish, perhaps most of them are not thrown there by people. They come from upstream areas where people throw rubbish into the river, and this rubbish goes to the mangrove areas where mangrove is the transition between the freshwater, the rivers, and also the sea. So this rubbish gets stuck in the mangrove areas. This is one thing. They shouldn't throw rubbish into the rivers or any waterways for that matter.
Yeah.
And secondly, I think they have to play their role in disseminating the information. Everybody has the role of making people aware about the importance of not only in the mangrove ecosystem and their roles in improving our survival, but also every natural ecosystem. This is some of the things that people can do. People can contribute to the conservation of mangrove and the entire ecosystem.
Right. Okay. Dr. Aldri, your input.
Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, loud and clear.
Right. Thank you, Amle, for the very important points that you've raised earlier. And yes, I do carry that end up with me too. So Dino, I will pass it some to you later in a bit. Dissemination of information. I realized I actually since I came back from to Malaysia from my PhD, I realized, for example, researchers at different universities are working in small groups, and not really communicating with each other. That is in one country. And then we realize also there are different groups of scientists, for example. This is just giving you a perspective of how things cannot be impactful. Amli mentioned about everyone has a role, but then it's not clear, right? How can anyone do or be significant or contribute significantly to the conservation or protection of mangrove? But then we have to understand now, first, yes, dissemination of knowledge, but we have to do it strategically as well, right? So we have to get the buy-ins. For example, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Higher Education. I don't know if they are going to merge with this in this new cabinet, but then education is one, right from the youngest possible age that we can penetrate their minds up to university level. In fact, to people at corporate organizations, government agencies. So that is one. And then the idea is, first, knowing Malaysia and knowing Malaysians, I think protecting is one of the most important way to go now. So now, out of the 620,000 hectares, we are already protecting about 500 plus thousand hectares. So protecting using legal instruments is one way to go. I mean, yeah. So but then again, protecting alone isn't effective if there's no enforcement, yeah, being carried out. So enforcement must be effective as well. So, but now knowing that I mean, in the government agencies, there's not enough human resource, right? We've heard this like for so many years already, for so many decades already. So this is where community can play their roles. We have to promote community-based resource management if it's not assisting, yeah, the enforcement agencies. Yeah? So we can actually collaborate with surrounding communities to become the eyes and ears for the authorities. They can become police, in fact, right? I mean, to because they depend on this mangrove to fish, for example, to catch I mean seafood, yeah, for their livelihoods, for their sustenance, right? So while doing that, yeah, being good Samaritans, being good community that really depend on the best of of their mangroves, they can assist the authorities to enforce, yes, some of the local laws and maybe state and federal laws as well. And then again, yeah, I agree with Amli about individuals that don't live within the mangrove, because you live if you live in the cities, in the towns, yeah, upstream, midstream of the river, or even upstream up in the hills, yeah, you still actually have impact, or you're still connected to the mangrove downstream. First, you eat fish. If you want to see food, you will go down, yeah, to the coastal villages, to the coastal town to get fresher seafood. But then whatever impact you make, yeah, upstream, like for example, polluting rivers with plastic or any other rubbish or garbage, yeah, industries, I mean, putting in affluents into the rivers, agricultural land, yeah, logging activities. These are all connected by rivers, eh? And we know rivers carry water, and not just water. Nowadays, it is overloaded by pollutants coming from human activities. And we cannot expect the shrinking mangrove to mediate or to treat these rivers anymore, yeah? Because the amount is shrinking and the pollutant is increasing. So there is imbalance, yeah, been clear imbalance already. So we have to work together to get there, to reach, or to somehow rectify, yeah, this issue, at least to find a balance. So maybe that could be a strategy that we have to work at all levels. Yeah? So now
I love it whenever Dr. Audrey tries to explain something. He paints a picture of the mangrove trees too. Seakan-akan the mangrove trees too is a character on its own, you know. It's like pollution dah makin banyak. Siapa yang kena buat kerja? Mangrove juga yang kena buat kerja.
exactly, yeah, that's
Which
right.
is true, which is very
Yeah.
true. So now, very quickly, we've only got about 2 minutes left in our webinar before our finalists, you know, start banging on the door saying who is the winner, who's the winner. Okay, so for the final 2 minutes, I want to understand this. There are corporates that are already playing a very important role in this, not only in buah mulut, not only in creating the awareness, but actually doing something. UMW is definitely one of the examples. They have committed to plant X number of trees, mangrove trees, and expanding our mangrove forests in the country. That's great. But if our listeners, our audience today, is in the position to actually make a difference within their own organizations. Contohnya, some of the finalists that we saw just now, they're already creating a garden within the campus, or they're already coming up with a multifaceted plan to get their organization to actually do something. If they are to lay down demands to grow the mangrove forest, what do you think are the low-hanging fruits that they should be demanding for? I'll go to Dr. Audrey and then I'll close with Tamlir.
All right, thank you very much. Okay. Yes, impressive presentations, by the way, earlier by participants. So all the best, all of you. And then yes, you're right. I mean, around 10, 11 years ago, we see more corporate organizations, private entities, in fact, working together with local NGOs, local communities and government agencies. But then the key important message that I want to deliver here, Dino and Amle, I'm pretty both of you will agree with me, is to do it right. So now we are seeing targets being made of planting hundreds, thousand, million trees. But then are we planting it at the right site with right species? That's the question that we should answer first. So this is where corporate organizations, communities, in fact, they must work together. And please, we are here. We are local NGOs, academia at all universities, here to assist actually. So we want to do it right. So not just planting. I see with my personal experiences, some corporate organizations with communities planting on beaches, planting mangroves on seagrasses, and some of them perhaps, encroaching into coral reef. Yeah? So we have to understand that these are all habitats on its own, mudflats, for example. So they undergo dynamic processes themselves. So if we want to do it, if we want to contribute, particularly in mangrove restoration, I prefer to call it restoration or rehabilitation, meaning degraded area, turn it back into forest. So it's not simply planting everything, a mangrove everywhere, because we know there are very low successful rate in a lot of planting activities already. So collaborate with academia. So the low-hanging fruit that you've mentioned, one of the tips that I can suggest would be, let's target abandoned aquaculture ponds. This is an example because I've already whispered, like really loud whisper actually, to local authorities, to Department of Fisheries, for example, because a lot of aquaculture ponds, after several years, maybe 8-10 years, they are too high in nutrient, so they're not fit
conducive.
They're not, so too high nutrient, so it's not feasible for shrimp or fish. So they will leave this pond abandoned and then exploit new areas. So my advice is, please stop exploiting new areas. Find better technology if you want, or other abandoned projects or abandoned area, and revisit these plans. And please add one more line in the permit requirement, or whatever the existing one. Department of Fisheries, I hope that you can impose this. Before they leave the ponds abandoned, restore it, rehabilitate it, bring the forest back. And
this is where Amlir and team can go into those offices brandishing their swords as knights and say, listen, this is what can be done. Boleh tak, Amlir? Is this something that, is this something that Eco Knights can, be the vanguards of right now?
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you very much for this suggestion. But first of all, I would like any plans or development plans to build, for example, to construct these ponds, for example, in Perak, it has to go a very prudent and careful evaluation, whether we actually need them or not. This is very, very critical. Sometimes, like Dr. Aldrich said, they are abandoned. They have no use whatsoever. So why are they having these areas in the first place? So in the first place, the first step is the evaluation of the project itself. Because once you've lost an area, a mangrove tree is not coming back. It's going to be totally different. And like Dr. Aldrich said, replanting mangrove forests is a very difficult and demanding task. I remember somebody from Kuala Selangor telling me that he tried to take few mangrove trees from one area to another area, and the area is very close by, and they died. Why? We do not know why. Maybe Dr. Aldrich has the answer. Maybe it's due to stress, due to the soil or whatever, but it's not an easy test. So in the first place, we have to try to protect as much as possible these mangrove trees. My philosophy is that do not pick up even one leaf from the forest if you don't have to. Okay, if there is no need to take a leaf from the forest, do not do so. only do so when it's very, very necessary to do so. That is the,
and when you are
for me, that
certain,
is,
when you
yes,
know what you need to do.
yes,
Faham,
correct, when
faham,
it's
yes.
necessary.
All right. Okay. Amir and Dr. Audrey, thank you so much for your time. Don't go anywhere. We are now going to go into the final bit of the UMW Green Ranger search. I would appreciate it if you two gents can just stay on, because what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to find the next leader. We are trying to find the next Dr. Audrey, trying to find the next Amir, who is going to carry the torch on for you. Okay. So we need you to give us your input later on. So what's going to happen right now is I will invite the 3 finalists that has already been selected to come on camera. They will each be given 1 minute to do a pitch as to why they should be the next Green Ranger, the next UMW Green Ranger. And then after that, I will invite the 3 juries that we have assembled together, and they will be asking a couple of questions to our finalists. And then they will go away and deliberate the scores. Whilst they are doing that, I will invite Dr. Audrey and Amir to come back again and tell me what they think about the 3 finalists. So sebelum juri bagi judging, the 2 of you will judge mereka dulu. All right, okay. So Dr. Audrey and Amir, if I can just please invite you to turn off your cameras and your microphones for now, because the time has come for us to reveal the final 3 top 3 winners of the UMW Green Ranger search. But before that, let's invite our 3 judges, the 3 members of jury that has already been, I believe they've already been admitted in here. So if I could invite from UMW, Encik Badrul Shah Abdul Rahman, the Group Head Corporate Communications of UMW, Encik Bad. Hi, Encik Bad, are you there? Hi, Cik Bat.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi, thank you. Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So, sebentar lagi kita akan berkenalan dengan our finalists. All right, next we have Mr. Vignesh Warren, who is the Group Head of Investor and Media Relations, who made a cameo earlier today. Vignesh, hi.
Couldn't wait.
couldn't wait. Yes, the quality of the entrance were really that good that you couldn't wait. Yeah? And last but not least, we have from Astro AWANI, Mr. Zaiful Arifin, who is the head of business and brand development. Hi, Zaiful.
Hello, hi Dino. Hi everyone. Very exciting.
Very exciting. Orang dah
Yes.
kancang. Okay, so I can see people are actually giving comments on the Facebook Live saying that, oh, candidate ini best, candidate itu best. So now it is time for us to get to know the 3 that has made it to the very final round. Here are your final 3 for the UMW Green Ranger search. From the first batch of videos, the first finalist that we have is Noraisha Shamsuddin. Hi, Noraisha. Noraisha, are you there? Can I invite you to turn on your camera and your microphone? Hi, Aisha.
Hi, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Congratulations on being the
Thank you
first
so much.
finalist.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. We love the video that you put together. Very interesting. It makes us
Thank
want
you.
to go and live in a farm for a while.
It's coming.
Okay, so hang on for a second, Aisha. I'll come back to you in a second. The second finalist is Dr. Firdaus Muhammad Yusof, who spoke about the flood mitigation involving the indigenous communities. Hi, Dr. Firdaus.
Hi, Assalamualaikum, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Firdaus. Congratulations on being the finalist of the UMW Green Ranger search. Excited tak?
Yeah, of course. Sangat
Okay,
mengujakan.
thank you. Mengujakan, bagus. Okay, and last but not least, we have Amal Najia Muhammad Noor from University Malaysia Kelantan, who spoke about garden in the campus. Hi, Amal.
Hi, Mr. Dido.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations. So congratulations to the 3 of you, Amal, Dr. Firdaus, and Noraisha. I have to note that I'm very impressed that the top 3 for the UMW Green Ranger search are all ladies. So congratulations to the ladies for making it thus far. You know, the world cannot go round if the power of women is not behind the world pushing the green agenda forward. So it's amazing. So as I mentioned earlier, you will each be given 1 minute to tell us why you deserve to be the winner of the UMW Green Ranger search. And we will go according to the order I have just introduced you just now. Once you all have done your 1 minute each, we will then invite the judges to ask whatever questions that they may have for every single one of you. For our two jury from UMW, they will be looking at the feasibility and the clarity of the plan that you presented. And for Encik Zaiful Arifin, he is going to be looking at your delivery, your ability to be convincing. Okay, so that's what we are going to be looking for. All right. So judges, if I can invite you to mute your microphone sekejap, so that we can give full attention to our three finalists. Fantastic. All right. So, people in the Facebook chat group, adakah anda bersedia? If you bersedia, please let me know. Hit me with the comment saying yes, bersedia, and I want to see if you guys are as excited as our finalists. I can see that the comments are coming in, so that's really good. Everybody's like super gung-ho about this. Yay. All right. So, without further ado, I'd like to invite Noraisha to tell us why she deserves to be the winner of the UMW Green Ranger search. Your 1 minute starts now.
Hai, salam sejahtera semuanya. Saya memilih tajuk kompos kerana sekarang ni kita nampak terlalu banyak sampah dekat persekitaran kita. Tentunya sampah ni boleh di-recycle, tapi kita lupa. Reuse, reduce, recycle. Tapi kita banyak fokus pada akhir sekali, iaitu recycle. Kita lupa yang pertama sekali, iaitu reduce. Of course, reduce ni memang kita boleh, salah satunya kita mengurangkan pembelian yang tak perlu. Nombor dua ialah kompos. Kompos ni lah mengkomposkan barang-barang biodegradable. Contohnya sistem makanan kita punya receipt, tisu, apa-apa barang biodegradable, kita tukarkan kepada kompos. Dan kenapa saya memilih kompos? Kompos ni modalnya terlalu sikit dan dia boleh dibuat untuk pada setiap orang. Boleh dibuat dekat rumah, dekat sekolah, dekat office, dekat hostel, semua boleh. Modalnya sedikit, kita cuma perlukan sediakan satu bekas. Lepas tu bahan-bahan komposnya semua ada kat sekitaran kita. Daun kering, sisa makanan, kertas, tanah, semuanya dia komposkan jadi tanah dan juga baja yang mana kita gunakan untuk tanam pokok. Benda ni organik 100%. Dan selamat untuk kita. Sampah dikurangkan, penyakit dikurangkan juga. Penyakit daripada tong sampah iaitu seperti lalat, penyakit yang bawa kepada cirit birit dan taun. Kesihatan meningkat, sampah kurang, semua orang boleh buat. Kenapa nak fokus yang besar? Kalau kecil pun kita boleh nak fokus.
Thank you very much, Noraisha. That's 1 minute and 10 seconds. Potong markah ni, dia lebih 10 saat di situ. Tapi tahniah, terima kasih kepada Aisyah. Okay, Dr. Firdaus, 1 minit anda bermula sekarang.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Well, the program that I presented to everyone for this competition is the capacity building for program for indigenous community at Kampung Janda Baik, because the area was hit by flood disaster twice, okay, at the end of last year and in the middle of this year. So we need to give some awareness with the indigenous people how they can react so that they will not be affected again or severely affected in the future. So what kind of knowledge will be transferred to them is they have to know how to do their self-monitoring of rainwater, self-monitoring of the river sedimentation at the particular area, and identify the mitigation plan. What example of the mitigation plan is the bioswale, where we plant certain plants at the exposed area as well as the riverbank to minimize impact of surface runoff during heavy rainfall, or we can simply say as like a mitigation of stormwater. So with the UMW Green Ranger, I believe this is not just affecting or improve the community, but as well inspire everyone involved, including our students who involved with this project.
Terima kasih Dr. Firdaus. Thank you very much. Sama juga 10 saat ekstra kita kena potong markah juga ni.
Oh, really?
Alright, okay. And last but definitely not least, Amal, your 1 minute starts right now.
Okay, Assalamualaikum, and I represent for my Faculty of Earth Science, which is under the program of Sustainable Environment. So we initiated with the My Tree for my FSB, where 2 trees have been represented for every of the staff and also their mentee as their student. They are together planting the trees and private care on that trees under the maturity. And now we are starting from 2019, now 2022 is about 5 meters tall now. So hopefully that we can get in the fruit of the trees, because the tree is about 67 species of the trees, and then is involved the forest trees and also the fruit trees, and also the rare species, which is we call pokok nade. With the generation right now is I haven't known yet that tree. And that's fostering the friendly between student and staff, and also the community also could involve in our program. It's raising awareness and also get the healthy, safe, conducive earth around the surrounding and also our workplace.
Okay, and apa ni Encik Amal yang cun-cun on time, dia lebih 2 saat je. Tapi tak apa, kita takkan potong markah, jangan risau. Sebab sekarang ni markah semua ataupun masa depan anda, so all your future is in the hand of our 3 juries, which is Mr. Vignesh, Encik Bat and also Zaiful. So members of the jury, it is now on to you to ask whatever questions that you may have for our 3 finalists. So perhaps I can open up by asking Encik Bat if you have any questions for the finalists. So please go ahead dan tanya soalan Encik Bat.
Sure, I'll be glad to. First of all, saya nak cakap saya rasa kecil sekali berada di depan kamera pasal pengetahuan kita pasal environment tu sendiri kena pindah lah dengan apa ketiga-tiga finalist ni nampaknya berkelibat sekali. Saya ada satu soalan untuk Amal. Amal nampak tak idea yang Amal jalankan di Amal dilaksanakan di universiti lain?
Okay, so if I may just repeat soalan Dr. Bat tadi, I heard you. Dr. Bat punya soalan ialah buat Amal, Cik Amal dan doktor, sorry Cik Bat, Cik Bat. Soalannya kepada Amal iaitu, do you see the program that you have initiated in your university, in your faculty, being applicable across universities in the country?
Yes, of course, because we have actually the other campus already do the garden campus, but the similar things that we are together do with we call work together, student and staff. Because before this, we don't know how the other campus would do. Maybe they hire somebody, but this we are together in our staff and also student and also community that should be implemented in other campus. And one more thing that could be different from the other place is we are starting to planting the rare species, which is before pokok nade. This haven't done from the other young generation right now. Dia tak kenal ada pokok cemai ke pokok buru ke pokok kedondong. So this is you can find our campus. Yeah, in our campus. And one other things, and also we, other than planting, we're using our own compost, and also we also have done for the waste recycle. Yes. So it's
Nama pokok-pokok tu semua familiar, pokok nade semua tu, tapi hanya tahu kedondong je sebab yang tu boleh order di kedai. Lain semua pokok not very sure.
Tak tahu kenal pokok bentuk macam mana, tak tahu.
Betul, ya. Saya mengaku. Alright, next I'd like to invite Zaiful to please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, thank you, Dino. Firstly, I would like to congratulate to all the finalists. I think you've done a very good job and your effort is priceless. My question is to Noresha. You banyak bercakap tentang kompos kan? So I think it's something that very practical and very easy for everyone to do. But the question now is, how do you want to encourage your community, and from your community maybe can go further, in a bigger community to untuk menggunakan langkah kompos ini. Macam mana you nak buat? How do you want to promote this?
Macam saya tunjuk dekat dalam video tadi, saya punya community ialah Instagram. Dan followers saya ialah community. Setiap satu daripada followers yang belajar dengan cara apa yang saya buat itu, dia boleh apply dekat rumah dia. Rumah dia terdiri daripada beberapa orang yang daripada sekolah, pada office, semua boleh ajar cikgu masing-masing, boleh ajar klik masing-masing, boleh ajar rakan-rakan masing-masing dan juga jiran-jiran. Dan benda ni memang semua dah terjadi pun. Ramai follower saya buat kompos dekat rumah dan saya dapat banyak sangat DMs, message tanya macam mana sekian-sekian, sampai bukan sekadar untuk rumah saja tapi pejabat daerah Ampang pun tanya saya macam mana nak datang ke Teluk Intan Perak untuk belajar directly one to one, dan saya dijemput ke Kampung Air Sempurna yang anak-anak tidak ada dokumen. Dia lahir di Malaysia, tak ada dokumen, dan di kampung air tak ada tanah langsung dan tak ada cara macam mana nak belajar benda-benda dekat tanah kita ni. Tapi saya bawa alatan kompos kepada mereka sebab senang. Satu, diorang bahan tu sebenarnya boleh cari saja dekat kedai hardware. Tetapi ilmu yang saya bawa ni dia boleh digunakan dekat kampung air tu sendiri sebab dia ada sisa. Sisa ni lah yang menjadikan kompos kan. Cara tanam menggunakan kompos pula, mereka ada satu beds of tanah, iaitu batas dekat atas air tu sendiri. Mereka buat inisiatif sendiri daripada penduduk kampung air tu, dan kompos tu digunakan untuk batas sendiri. Jadinya untuk macam tadi persoalan tu ianya lebih kepada purpose yang Instagram, dan saya punya community Instagram tu yang follow dan mengembangkan benda-benda gitu. Saya open for all untuk belajar, tanya semua, no problem. Dan saya sediakan bahan juga dekat Shopee yang saya tunjuk kat Instagram tadi. Macam mana nak buat, apa bahannya ada dekat situ.
Okay, terima kasih Nuraisha.
Thank you very much Nuraisha. Sangat complete dia punya approach dia. Dah memang ada game plan untuk promote, which is something that is very very positive. Okay, last but most definitely not least, yang paling eager tadi, Mr. Vignesh Baran. So I am sure Dr. Firdaus sekarang ni tengah tertunggu-tunggu apalah gamaknya soalan yang tadi ditanyakan oleh Vignesh. So Vignesh, if you have a question, go ahead. Please go ahead.
My question is more of like a feedback, as we are as from a UMW group perspective, we have launched the UMW Green Shoots Initiative, which is basically to look at the plan is to plant 300,000 trees in this 2 years. So my question or my question is how can you contribute or add value to this particular program by being UMW Green Ranger?
Right. Okay. So if I'm understanding this correctly, you're asking, the only person that has not answered the question is Dr. Firdaus. So you're asking Dr. Firdaus how she can actually contribute to the plan that you are currently building right now.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Dr. Firdaus. Dr. Fur, banyak student you rasa kat dalam Facebook ni dia orang kata Dr. Fur. Okay, Dr. Fur silakan.
Thank you very much for the question. Thank you, Dino. So basically, once we understand the situation at Jandabai, where we did our site visit, understanding how the flood actually hit the area twice in very short time period, we noticed that certain area been exposed. I mean, like deforestation as well, with not just deforestation, but being exposed due to the building of residential area, resorts, and many things, right? So by replanting, we can do replanting those at those selected area that we identified as suitable to mitigate or to help maintain the river bank, to maintain the exposed area from being we plant this kind with the plan by the UMW. We use this opportunity to plant at those areas, and we can encourage the community, not just the orang asli, but the residents as well, with the resort owner, to plant more plant at their their units or their lots, to help these UMW Green Rangers plant being achieved. Your objective can be achieved.
Understood. Thank you very much, Dr. Fur. So I'm sure that everybody is very clear already with what that everything that can be achieved. It's amazing that every single one of you actually have a strong and solid angle that you're attacking this from, which is very unique. Sebab selalunya, I think in most cases everybody have one idea and everybody goes with that idea. But right now, the three finalists are looking at this initiative from three very different angles, which I think is very, very interesting. So now I'd like to invite Zaiful, Cik Bat, and also Vignesh. You guys can go ahead and deliberate on your scoring right now. If you wanted to leave, or you want to turn off your cameras and also your microphones, you are welcome to do so. I will give you 5 minutes to deliberate and understand, so that I can understand the scores once the 5 minutes is over. So thank you, Zaiful, Encik Bat, and Vignesh. I will come back to you in a second. The three of you, Aisha, Dr. Fer, dan Amal, please stay on. We are going to reveal who the winner is very, very shortly. But in the meantime, seperti yang saya katakan tadi, perhaps Dr. Aldri and also Amir, you guys want to come on and share with us what your thoughts are on the finalists and the efforts that they have put in. I think it's really, really amazing. It's really, really cool that everybody has a very different angle to be looking at this from. Amir, what are your thoughts right now?
First of all, before I forget, I would like to congratulate AWANI and also UMW for implementing such a creative and innovative effort in the process towards promoting sustainability. I am interested, like Dino said just now, they are approaching the environmental problems or the environmental issues from different perspectives. So what I can see, what I can gather right now, if we combine these three into one project, it is superb. You're gonna get the solution or the process towards the solving of environmental problems from various angles, various perspectives. And I like the approach taken by Nur Aisha, for example, in establishing or promoting the sustainable community. But I think she has also to remember that there are a lot of other things that a community can do. For example, rainwater harvesting. I'm not sure whether she has that in mind, but composting is definitely a very good effort, a very good approach towards solving our our waste problems. And like she said, like she mentioned earlier, much earlier during her presentation just now, she also mentioned that the most important thing is to reduce our consumption. That is the first thing. Before we reuse or recycle, we have first to get used to the practice of reducing. Only use something when we need it and in the amount we need it, especially when it comes to water and also food, because we are wasting a lot of water and food in our
True.
lives.
Aisyah tu ada komen ke nak sebut something di situ?
Ya, saya memang ada komen. Saya fokus dekat kompos sebab saya pilih satu topik sebab nanti video tu terlalu panjang.
Okay.
Tapi kalau Encik Amdi boleh jemput datang ke Kebun Nurai Organik, saya buat rainwater harvesting. Saya bukan sekadar kompos saja, dan saya punya konsep organik ni bukan sekadar organik. Ini adalah satu konsep permaculture. Dan insyaAllah saya akan apply solar pula nanti.
Okay, permaculture is good. Permaculture is good. Yes.
So maknanya Nuraisha, even if manalah tahu you do not come out tops and you are not selected to be the UMW Green Ranger, you are always welcome to be an Eco-Knight, I think. Okay, Dr. Aldri, your thoughts. Macam tadi yang menariknya macam for Dr. Fer dengan Amal tadi, you know, in the work that they are doing, they're all actively using plants to achieve a specific objective, which I think again is very interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I like to see the variety that we get from this exercise alone. Betul tak, Dino? I think by organizing or hosting or initiating activities like this, we see like the diversity of potential actions that can be taken by individuals and a small group of communities. Yeah? Imagine UMW or other big corporations would invest in such projects. So small projects combined, you can contribute. But then the issue, I would imagine, in the long run, will be how can all of these small projects and activities, would they, collectively contribute significantly or impactfully? That will be another question. And from individual scale to the, to the largest scale, sustainability or maintenance of each activities and each activity and project would be another issue. So when we speak about sustainability, that would be if you can maintain undertaking these activities by themselves, can they like sustain themselves, and how can they contribute sustainably. First, of course, environmentally, we're contributing to the environment now. But when we speak sustainability, we are actually bringing in the other two pillars with us, not just the environment, but economy and the social impact, social well-being. So this is the things that need. I'm pretty sure this is in the minds of the jury. I reckon. I don't know what they're judging on, but I would imagine. If we want to come up with new projects, and of course, if we want to push for some of the projects out of the 9, or if we can invite more projects in the future, think about that. I mean, maintaining or sustaining and bringing up all the 3 pillars together, and of course, how these can be breached. Using of the governance aspect of them. So, I mean, your question is actually on the plant base. So this is very good. Meaning, if you know, I don't know if you've heard of plant blindness. Meaning, generally, among Malaysians, we assume all trees as trees. But there are hundreds and thousands of species of plants in the world. So this still happens. This still occurs in our community. So again, it is good that we highlight some of the key or economically viable plants, but then again, promote also understanding the diversity of species, particularly for us in the tropics. Oh my goodness. Our forest is not like temperate forest. Temperate forest, you can see them as plantation. We cannot apply that to Malaysia. We have this richness that we have to maintain. So yes, we learn about the many economically viable ones, but protect also the remainings or the rest of them.
Richness is an understatement, lah. Our biodiversity here is something that we truly can thump our chest and shout about the world over. It's amazing over here. I just want to take this opportunity also to give an honorary mention to one of the videos just now that really called out to me, which is Teacher Liu. I love the idea of harvesting water from the air conditioning units. I've heard rainwater harvesting before and all that, but the only other time that I've actually come across an initiative to harvest AC water so actively was when I was in the UK and I visited the factory for McLaren, where they make sports cars, and a lot of their processes involve water, and the water that is generated from those processes, including the AC, is then taken out and is used to water the vast woodlands around them. So I think that is super interesting, exciting. So this is something that a lot of corporate companies can do from the get-go. So Teacher Liu, thank you so much for the initiative. I wish you would get together with Noraisha, and you can possibly work together and create a very cohesive communications plan to get this on ground. Dr. Audrey, you wanted to add to that?
Yes, imagine small resorts and hotels doing that, because I've seen this one very small resort in Langkawi doing it. So it can be done by all resorts. Imagine planting your garden. Watering your garden using this water. Of course, it's super cold in the beginning, but then of course, keep it for a while and you can use and reuse it. So all the best, and thank you for highlighting the ideas.
Fantastic. Okay, the results are in. I have it in my phone, in my hand right now. Saya suka lah tengok muka finalist kita semua bibir kedap bibir itu menunggu keputusan yang bakal di-announce. So once again, I want to say at this juncture, I want to say a very huge thank you to every single one of you that submitted your business plan, who submitted your written plan. And then after that, when we communicated to you that you are selected and you have to produce a video in no time at all. We gave you a few weeks to do the video and most of you came back to us within the week. It shows how passionate you are to get this on ground. Tiba-tiba rasa macam emotional. Punyalah, everybody so excited to get this done. So we know now that the winners of the UMW Green Ranger Search are people who truly deserve to be recognized over here. So, with the blessings of our jury members, I'd like to announce right now that none of you are losers. You're all winners because you'll all be walking away with something, which is amazing. But the second runner-up, please join me in congratulating punyalah excited sampai nak sebut tak boleh. Congratulating Dr. Fer. Congratulations to you. You are the second runner-up, which means I only have 2 names left to be the winner and also the first runner-up. I will be announcing the winner of the UMW Green Ranger Search. Therefore, the name that I do not announce is automatically the first runner-up. So, the winner of the UMW Green Ranger Search in collaboration with Astro AWANI is none other than Nuraisha Shamsuddin. Congratulations, Nuraisha.
Thank you so much. Terima
Tahniah
kasih
diucapkan
banyak-banyak.
kepada Nuraisha. We are so looking forward to having more coming out from you. We know that you use your platform very responsibly, and you put in a lot of effort in trying to do what you're doing. So we hope that, you know, through this initiative, you will be now working closely with UMW to get other people to be as excited about the environment as you. So Nuraisha, congratulations. Amal, tahniah juga kepada Amal, congratulations. And also, of course, Dr. Fer, it's amazing. I can see that the Facebook chat is blowing up right now. Tanya. So congratulations to all, each and every one of you. And that's it from us over here at Astro AWANI and UMW. This therefore concludes the UMW Green Ranger Search for 2022. Inshallah, if we have the opportunity to do this again, we will definitely try to create more opportunities such as this. But for now, thank you to the panelists, thank you to the jury, and thank you to every single one of you who participated. And we hope that we'll be able to see you again soon. Do drop us a line on our social media and tell us what you think. And you know, perhaps if you have great ideas, share it with us, and we'll be more than happy to look into them. So I said, Fardino Omar, we will see you again soon. Nuraisha, once again, congratulations. Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.